News at 8 with the summary. Colin Duncan. Secretary of State Tom King has arrived at Stormont from Westminister for a top-level security meeting with police and army chiefs. He'll be deciding what needs to be done to curb an IRA offensive which has claimed the lives of Judge Maurice Gibson, his wife and a UDR soldier over the weekend. Mr King has already revealed some results of inquiries underway into Sir Maurice's death. David Stokes has the details.
Earlier, Unionist leaders Jim Molyneux and Ian Paisley broke their Westminster boycott to hear Mr King tell MPs that a stolen car containing a £500 bomb was driven into place at Killeen just minutes before Sir Maurice drove past. And it's been confirmed.
Arthur Williams of the Starnes Foundation for just a moment tonight. This is Downtown Radio DTR FM. The time is midnight.
The headlines at midnight: security resources to be examined after Stormont summit. West Belfast RUC station comes under fire. Austria recalls its US ambassador as diplomatic row grows. And Taylor crashes out of snooker's World Championship. Good morning, I'm Colin Duncan. Extra troops and more SAS activity haven't been ruled out after a 2-hour top-level security summit at Stormont involving police and army chiefs. The talks were dominated by the current IRA offensive and the murder of Lord Justice Maurice Gibson in a border bomb trap. Here's our political correspondent, Eamon Malley.
The meeting involving the GOC, the Chief Constable and the Secretary of State went on for 2 hours at Stormont Castle and later moved to Stormont House for dinner. A brief statement was issued to the effect that a wide-ranging discussion took place which focused on strategy and resources to combat what was labelled the IRA's heightened campaign of vicious and murderous violence. The statement also added that the Chief Constable and the GOC would be reporting urgently to the Secretary of State on the resources implications of the IRA campaign, which appears to mean they will now tell Mr King what further backup they need, and this could result in more troops, as advocated by former Northern Ireland Labour Secretary of State Roy Mason at Westminster yesterday.
This increased kill and bomb campaign is intended to terrorise the whole of the province and also, coincidentally, try and smash his Anglo-Irish agreement. Therefore, is he aware that it will now necessitate a higher security profile in many of those previously quiet areas? That secondly, if need be, more British troops should be drafted into the province? Also, I hope he would consider parallel patrols of Army and RUC for a time, increasing their presence on the streets. And also he might consider increasing the facilities to the British Army and to special forces that we have in the province to be able to retaliate and capture more easily than hitherto. He's got to turn the tide. He's got now to be able to retaliate more effectively against the terrorists. And if he will adopt some of these measures, if not all of them, then I'm sure he'll get the support of most members of this House.
I take very careful note of all the points that he makes. A number of these options will have to be looked at. A number of them will undoubtedly be being discussed later today when I meet the leaders on the security force side.
We should know later today what moves, if any, will flow from this round of talks with police and army chiefs and the Secretary of State.
There's been a gun and bomb attack on Andersontown RUC station in West Belfast. Police say the station was hit by an explosion which was followed by a burst of automatic fire, but no one has been hurt. Meanwhile, security forces have foiled what appears to have been an elaborate plot to bomb police or soldiers at Beechmount Avenue. David Stokes reports.
7 pounds of explosives packed into a cylinder were uncovered at the base of a lamppost at Beechmount Avenue off the Falls Road. It appears terrorists had planned to detonate the bomb by remote control as security forces passed by. An army bomb disposal team worked for more than 5 hours to defuse the device. At least 4 controlled explosions were used during the operation. Local residents say soldiers removed what appeared to be a firing mechanism from a nearby derelict house. Earlier, a hijacked post office van had been abandoned close by, but it was declared a hoax and removed. Police say a number of houses were evacuated during the operation, but add that some residents refused to move out and stayed on in their homes at their own risk.
Newton Abbey Unionists have voted to defy the High Court and continue their boycott of business in protest at the Anglo-Irish Accord. The decision has been condemned by Alliance Chief Whip Gordon Mawhinney, who says there are two sorts of people in the community, those who support the rule of law and those who openly defy it. Mr Mawhinney says by voting for adjournment, Unionists on Newton Abbey Council have firmly placed themselves on the same side of the law as Sinn Féin and what he calls their fellow travellers. The pilot and passenger of a microlight aircraft have escaped with minor injuries after their machine crashed at Cottage Road in Dullingstown near Lurgan. The plane, owned by a Lurgan family, hit a tree on takeoff, injuring the pilot in the chest. His daughter suffered a broken ankle. Austria has recalled its ambassador to Washington because the United States is banning the country's controversial president Kurt Waldheim from entering America